Hi guys, this is Connie back with Connie Reads The Dogs of Winter. This is part 2 of chapter 28. 2 days later, I once again searched for the best pierogi for me and the man of the accordion, and meat for the dogs. The day was unaccountably mild. The brutal fists of winter had opened. The wind blew warm. Soft air from the sea, the frozen branches of the sleeping birch and fir trees relaxed and dripped. Shop owners stood outside in the sun and talked. I will admit, we were gone longer than we should have been. Even the dogs turned their faces up to the sun. We should bring grandmother and little mother and the puppies up here to enjoy the warmth and the fresh air, I said to Smoke and Lucky. Reluctantly, I took the steps down and down into the train station. Lucky and Smoke refused to leave their sunny spot on the sidewalk. I'll be back with the others soon, I called to them. I had not gone far down the long hallway when I heard a sound that turned my blood to ice. The frantic barking of grandmother and little mother. I dropped the package of food and sprinted down the hallway. The barking of the dogs mixed with cries of, "Leave me alone! Leave me alone!" The sight that greeted me was this: the man of the accordion, surrounded by 4 skinny, leather-clad things, like a gang of crows, with chains and impossible hair. At the feet of the old man were a growling, snarling, shivering grandmother and little mother, trying their best to protect him and the puppies. The gang shoved the old man off his stool. The tin with the coins and the rubles clinked to the floor. One of the boys swooped in and scooped up the money. "No!" cried the old man. "How can you steal from an old blind man?" "Get the accordion," the tallest of the crow boys commanded. Grandmother stood over the old man, growling and snapping at the boys. A boot-clad foot flew and kicked grandmother in the side, sending her skidding across the floor. The sight unfroze me. "No!" I screamed. I flew at the crow boys with all my might. I whirled and spat and kicked and punched. "Leave them alone!" I cried. One of the boys punched me in the face. A warm, coppery taste filled my mouth. I spat out a tooth. "Don't hurt them," the old man pleaded. The gang turned their attention back to the old man and his accordion. The tallest of the crows smacked the old man in the face and grabbed the strap of the beautiful accordion. "Give it to me," the boy snarled. I rushed at the boy and slammed into the back of his knees. He folded in half. A hand grabbed the back of my coat and flung me aside like garbage. I grabbed a long pencil-thin leg and bit as hard as I could. Little mother bit the other leg. "Get off me!" the voice above the legs cried. He flung first little mother, then me against the wall. Little mother let out a painful scream. I tried to rise. I tried to call to her, but I could not breathe. It was as if, like the old man's accordion, all the air had been squeezed out of me. And then I heard 2 things: the faraway tweet-tweet of a policeman's whistle and the roar of angry dogs. Then I heard the frantic cries of the crow. "Help! What the? Get them off me!" I pushed myself up on one elbow. Lucky and Smoke tore and lunged at the boys. Blood speckled and smeared the floor. Even though they were only 2 dogs, they fought like 20. I crawled over to little mother and grandmother, who cowered over the puppies. The tweet-tweet of the militia's whistle grew louder. A crowd had formed around the boys and the man of the accordion. Someone helped the old man up from the floor. Blood streaked his white beard. "They saved me," the old man said, trembling. "The boy and the dogs." Even though they could not see, his milky eyes searched for me anyway. The policeman trotted up to the crowd and blew his whistle one last time. "What's going on here?" he barked. His tall black boots shone like black mirrors. I wanted to take the old man's hand and tell him I was okay, that the dogs had protected his beautiful music and us. But I was no longer a stupid little boy. I knew the policeman would not help me. The police meant the orphanage or worse. The policeman would take me away from the only family I had. Quietly, while the crowd helped the old man, and while the policeman gathered up the crow boys, the dogs and I slipped into a bathroom and hid. I checked the dogs over for wounds. Grandmother was very sore on her side and would limp the rest of her life. Little mother had a lump the size of a small potato on the side of her head. The puppies licked and licked her ear and her face. I slumped against the cold tile wall and cried myself to sleep. When I woke, I washed the blood from my face and hair. I poked my tongue in the empty space where my tooth had been. When I was a little boy living with my mother, I would have saved the tooth under my pillow for the tooth fairy. But I was no longer a little boy. I did not believe in fairies. It was unusually quiet in the train platforms. I had no idea if it was day or night or had become day again. I walked back over to the place where the old man with the snow-white beard had played his accordion. He was not there, but the bloodstains were. I knew then he would not be back. Rip sniffed behind a trash bin near the bloodstains. He looked at me, wagged his little tail, and yipped his come-see yip. "What is it now, Rip?" I asked, kneeling beside him, and then I saw it. A small white tooth glowed like a pearl in the train station light. My baby tooth. I picked up the tooth. "I should throw it away," I said to Rip. "It's only a stupid baby tooth." Instead, I dropped it in my pocket and ran my thumb over its bumpy hardness. A train eased to a stop. Smoke looked up at me. I looked at Smoke. The train doors slid open. I lifted the puppies into my arms. "Let's go," I said. And that's the end of chapter 28. Be careful with that and enjoy, please and thank you, and I will see you for the next installment. Have a great day.